Hello everyone, here is Ajwa, and I'm here to talk about dialysis. And we need to first of all ask ourselves our question, what is dialysis? How does it operate? Who are the patients who need to go through this procedure? And for how long? Is there going to be a time frame, or you remain in this situation all through your life? That's the topic we're going to look at today. And also to find out, how do you end up being asked to go for dialysis? Because I've discovered that lots of people don't know what it is. Actually, it comes to them as a surprise. So this video is meant to clear that doubt, that dust in the air that some of you guys don't know. And yeah, so that's what I'm to do today. It's going to be a short video, but I will try to squeeze it because it's a very broad topic. So first of all, let's look at the definition. What is dialysis? Dialysis is a procedure to remove waste product and excess fluid from the blood when the kidneys stop working properly. Essentially, it is a machine or a device, to be more precise, a medical device that cleans the blood. Stop. So now let's go into detail how it operates. And when you talk about removing of waste, what type of waste are they referring to here by that definition? So there is what we call macromolecules and micromolecules. So let me try to break down that word, because it's more of a technical word here that someone who is not well educated might get lost in the whole show. So essentially, macro means big, micro means small. So the words again are macromolecules, micromolecules, nutrients, mineral, and all those things. So now let's go into detail what it is. So there are particular diseases that can take you into this pathological situation. And the diseases are high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, and other illnesses, but the principal ones are the one I've just named. Now, the rate at which people are being asked to go for dialysis in Africa is alarming. In the Western world, it's unusual. And having said that, when you are told to go for dialysis in the Western world, it is not something you have to do it all through your life. I will explain to you why in the Western world you don't do it all through your life. Now, the whole thing here is, we first of all look at those keywords I mentioned before, macromolecules and micromolecules. So I will pay more attention on macromolecules. So macromolecules are gigantic molecules, bigger molecules, that the kidney finds it hard to do the job, that the kidney does what we call filtration. When all what you eat are being metabolized at the level of your liver, the kidneys now help to wash them out. So that kidney is a very sensitive organ. Remember, on the platform, I did lecture how the kidney operates. It is like a net. So that net, not everything go through. Some get trapped. So essentially, that's what the kidney does. So you have the Bowman capsule And that Bowman capsule now, you have within there the diaphragm, the podocytes, the nephrins, and other stuff in there. Then now you have the convoluted tube. Then you have the Hensley's loop. Then you have now where it comes to that's your urinary tract, way to say. Now, when we are engaged in drinking beer, eating, and do all sorts of stuff, there are chances that something might go wrong with time. It doesn't happen the next day. And another thing you have to know is the kidney is an organ that signals only when it is 75% gone. When it's 25% gone, it gives no signal. So it's 75% gone, that's when trouble kicks in. And classical symptom, it is back pain. To be more precise, lower back pain. Some of this lower back pain also might be due to medications. For instance, we have OTC's medication. OTC stands for over-the-counter medication. These are medications that doctors don't prescribe them. So you simply walk into the pharmacy and get this medication and start using them. But having said that, you don't really need to use this medication all through your life. Even though it is OTC, but they do have their limitations. I will give you some examples here like tramadol, which is a big issue in Africa. It's being used in any order, nobody cares, it's not regulated, you use it as much as you can, and there you go. So, in the Western world, OTC medications are kinda regulated, let me put it that way. Take for instance, you bump into a pharmacy and you want to get an OTC med, call it tramadol, which you will never even get that one. Let me take the simplest one, ibuprofen, for example. So you can get the ibuprofen, and the box, the way it's being designed, it won't even take you for more than a week because it is limited. So there's that restriction. So you get it over the counter, but the number of tablets inside are limited. That's the trick, the whole trick here. Whereas the one which is prescribed, you can take it continuously, provided your doctor says so, because there's kind of monitoring. They monitor your organs. So these substances, they create kind of inflammation at the level of the diaphragm of the kidney. It's part of the nephrins, where you have the podocytes. So the Kupffer cells. So they all get damaged along the road. Because if you look at the cells of the kidney, there's what we call brush border. So the brush border now, those medications now cause the damage, especially when you are taking medication in tablet forms. Be careful here. Medication in capsules do not cause much damage as compared to medications in tablets. So those who are taking medication in tablet, they risk finding themselves in this situation also. It is not just macromolecule, it ends there. So those are the three major ways where you could end up damaging your kidney, and you are told to go for dialysis. Now, while on this dialysis, how do you behave, or how do you keep you alive in that condition? I know in Cameroon, majority of the patients go to do dialysis once a week. Let's look at the economic burden. Imagine you living in a place where there's no dialysis center. What do? You will need to pay a car to take you there. That's another cost. And then while there, you might need to feed yourself also. You cannot stay the whole day without food. But who controls the food you eat? That's the big question. So in the Western world, we have dietitians, not nutritionists. Be careful here, because these are two different things. A dietitian is not a nutritionist. So be careful. So The role of a dietitian here is to determine the molecular quantity that is in the blood, what to take, what not to take, and all those things. So they know the calculation. Then we have things like the oxalates. Oh God. Oxalates are found in vegetable. So that's another hassle because they end up creating what we call kidney stones, which those kidney stones need to be bombarded. At least that one is even good. When they bombard those ones, you now have your freedom. The kidney now comes back to what it used to be. But the bad news here is when you are on macromolecules, like what? Like the sugar molecules. Take, for instance, those who have high blood sugar, patients with diabetes, or those who have high blood pressure. That high blood pressure damages the kidney when it is not controlled. So you need to make sure that your blood pressure is monitored. And I would like to stress here, know your numbers. Know your numbers, meaning that you need to know your cholesterol value, because that cholesterol will damage that kidney. You need to know your blood pressure, the higher and the lower one, or what we call the diastole and the systole, or systolic blood pressure and the diastolic blood pressure. You need to know also how many milligrams of sodium are in your food. I will endeavor to produce another PDF document that will tell you the number of macromolecules of sodium are in various African food. Like so, when you are eating them, you know what you are doing. In the Western world, all our food have labels. Whereas in Africa, I don't know, it looks like such things don't exist. So you just buy the food from the market or from the shop and keep consuming without monitoring those numbers. So please be careful, know those values, get yourself checked at least twice a year. Every 6 months, go for a checkup. And the checkup should be the kidney function test and maybe the liver function test and the heart. But the key one here, it is the kidney function test. And if the kidney is not working 100%, there's what we call dose adjustment. If you are on medication that you have to take all through your life, like medication for blood pressure, in that case, we will need to select the ideal drug that suits your situation. I don't want this precious organ to be destroyed. I don't want you to even get yourself entrapped with dialysis because it will cost you hell. Just one sitting in Cameroon is around that 5,000 francs. So multiply 5,000 by 4, that's already 20,000 a month. The story doesn't end there. You need to also pay for transportation to go to those centers where you find the machine there. So you might end up spending close to 30,000 francs, which I don't see it a good thing. And that's why I'm making this video, to avoid you from finding yourself in that situation. There are two types of food here which I want to stress: live food and dead food. Live food have less of those substances that can clog your kidney, or call it the nephrins and the podocytes. Let's start with the dead food. Dead food here, I'm referring to meat. If you're a meat lover, then watch out. Your days are almost, you might find yourself in trouble down the road. If you are vegan, then that one's good for you. Vegan are a group of people who choose to eat only green vegetable, and the green vegetable must be crunchy. So green vegetable are highly loaded with nitric oxide. So that nitric oxide has a role called scavengers. That scavenger role is help in cleaning the arteries, the capillaries as well. So you don't have trouble if you are living on such a diet, which is green, Those of you living on that diet, like meat and fish, they are highly loaded with macromolecules. And not only that, cholesterol also is part of it, because some of the meat, which is not dry, say fresh meat, they have lots of those things there. So with time, they end up creating you more trouble down the road. And the easiest way to believe what I'm saying is just check your pipe at home, the water pipe. If you have water in your house, just get the head of the pipe and look at it inside. You will see some kind of mass building, or which we call them atheroma. So atheroma takes you into atherosclerosis. So when they start building up, the fluidity of blood start dropping, in the sense that there's that pressure building up, and also the flexibility of your arteries, the capillary, are no more the same. They become very, very fragile because of that mass called atheroma is building up. So when they build up now, they are like sand dunes inside the arteries. So when they get there, blood now tends to flow kind of, there's kind of a hindrance, or call it a bottleneck situation. So a bottleneck situation is a situation where a lane made up of 5 cars is being reduced to 2. So if 5 cars were running a line, and then there's a lane reduced now, those cars now tend to come closer. So at some point, only 2 cars could be going at a time. So 3 have to hang around to see how to fit themselves inside. We call that one bottleneck situation. And that's what happens also when you are living on excess meat and excess fish, or call them dead food. Down the road, you find yourself in that situation. And when you are in that bottleneck situation, your blood pressure spikes. And when it spikes now, that's when trouble kicks in. So to summarize things, again, I would encourage each and everyone listening to this video to take it as a challenge. Make sure you pay more attention on green vegetables. Green vegetables here are loaded with nitric oxide. If you make use of this information, you won't have trouble as compared to those who don't want to consume green vegetable. Meat, again, and fish have macromolecules. Meat, fresh one, are loaded with what we call cholesterol. And cholesterol creates that trouble, in the sense that the value spikes as you are aging. And then another bad news is when you are less active. Say, for instance, you like moving from one place to the other using your car without walking. When you are walking or doing an exercise, it helps to stimulate the muscles. And so it takes away that pressure building up as days goes by. So that's what I want to say. And you can see from my page, my phone number is there, email is there. You can choose anyone that suits you to communicate with me. I'm more than happy to guide you. I will provide you all information that you want for free. You are not paying me anything. My concern is your safety. I want to see you all happy. Let's make 2024 a year of success, a year where you won't be having trouble with diabetes, you won't be having trouble with blood pressure, you will be as healthy as a fish, as the saying goes. So that's your homework. Take it seriously. Go now and subscribe on my page as well as my channel for you to get more videos coming up. Have a wonderful day. I love you all. Dr. WAN. Ciao.